Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris Man, and as always, I thank you guys for coming to my channel. And today I'm going to do a quick video in response to one of my subscribers. He had a question. So I'm going to do a video because I think this question and my answers kind of help a lot of other people out there. And that's a pretty good question. And it's a logical question because he says this. Hello, Morris Man. Hope you're doing well. Thank you. I have a question. How do you choose what guitar you're going to use when you're playing? I noticed you use the Tele more than the Strat or the Paul. I have an SG, but thinking about purchasing a Tele guitar. Maybe you can do a video on the topic, unless you've already done one. I missed it. Thank you, Sal. Okay, good question. And actually, I do use my Tele more than other guitars, but I'm just going to say this first. Because the question is, how do you choose what guitar you're playing? Actually, there's a couple of answers to that question. And the first one is this one, whichever one feels good for you to play. Second, when you're trying to match up the tone of the guitar on the recording, like when I did Jill Scott, The Way, I used my semi-hollow jazz guitar because it has a really nice thick tone. Because I'm starting, as you keep doing what you're doing, you start to notice things. Because 5 years into my playing, I was just hooked on the Stratocaster. That was it. Knew about the Tele. My buddy played the Tele, but I was hooked on the Stratocaster. As I get older and I do more sessions, I realized that if you're trying to capture a certain type of tone, you got to use certain types of guitars. And I rarely ever play humbucking pickups because I was so used to that bright Tele or Strat sound. But as I gotten older and doing more sessions, I started to kind of, I guess, have more respect for the semi-hollow guitars and the humbucking pickups because they don't sound like the Strats or they don't sound like the Tele. They have their own. And when I do a lot of, I guess, the Philly sound, I use that because a lot of those recordings back then, the Philadelphia sound, the Gamble and Huff, the OJs and, artists like that, the guitar player used humbucking pickups. They didn't use Strats. They didn't use Tele because you can kind of determine it as your ear get better as far as the tone. Because, of course, for many years, Prince played that Tele and it had that really bright, snappy, bright sound to it. And I love that because I think one reason why I love that so much because that type of brightness and tonality cuts through the mix. Sometimes when you're using certain types of other guitars like humbucking pickups, depending on the song you're playing, it doesn't really cut through the mix, and you don't want to turn up your guitar over the track, and you don't want to be buried up under there where people can't hear you. So the answer to that question is it depends on the song you're trying to emulate and just what feels good for you to play. Because if somebody were to ask me if I had to run out of my place with just one guitar, which would that be? It would be my Tele because the Tele is so versatile. Out of all the guitars I've ever played, the Tele has an unbelievable range. You can do that country high twang thing, which is just famous for. It can do that bright Prince thing. It can actually do some nice mellow stuff if you adjust the pickups and the tone volume. So again, answer to that question is, first of all, what feels good, because the Tele has a very unique neck. Most Fender guitars have a uniqueness to them that no other guitars have. Because when I buy these other Teles, I'm anticipating a Tele small like neck, and a lot of times it's not because patent issue. But I would think if I was a guitar maker, I would come close enough not to get sued, and close enough where it sounds or feels like the other brand guitars, because I don't think there's nothing for me personally that matches up with the neck of the Tele. I mean, that thing just feels good for my hands because I don't have big hands, and it just feels good to play. And what's so unique about the Telecaster's neck to me, and I just might be me that I noticed this. Most guitars, the neck of them had that oval shape to it, and then the fretboard is just actually flat. But with the Tele, it feels like the bottom neck or the neck is oval, and then the fretboard is oval. It's not flat. And I think that's one reason why I love it so much, because it feels so good to play. And the way that it's shaped, it's like no other guitar, because I've gotten Tele copies and they were flat. The fretboard just flat, and Something about that Telecaster neck, not only the size of it, but the shape of the front and the shape of the back. So I hope that answered your question, Sal. It depends on what feels good for you to play. And then when you're trying to match up tones on guitars, because whenever I do chic stuff, of course I'm pulling out the Strat. I'm pulling out the Strat because that's what Nile Rodgers exclusively plays. And you match up that Strat sound off the record on the Strat that you're playing. So until next time, take care and thanks for watching.